Hey, what's going on, guys? A new crew review here with a new review for you, Colton,
Andrew,
Lucas.
and we're going to talk about Thor Ragnarok and why it was such a good movie. I mean, that movie was
great.
It was
you
good.
like.
It doesn't top out as my favorite, but it's up there, man.
Oh, yeah.
It was my favorite
It's up.
Thor movie. I mean, it's
Favorite
hands down
Thor
the
movie,
best.
yeah.
It's the
Come
best
on.
Thor movie.
I mean, they say sequels aren't the best, but this one was the best.
They didn't really kick off really good with Thor 1.
Yeah.
It's
Thor 2 was okay. This
that
one,
was the worst one.
This one was just really colorful, and it just had a lot of different good vibes that I liked. It was
Yes.
a lot more funnier than any other.
It seemed like
Thor
they tried to
movie.
go for more of like a Guardians in the Galaxy kind of thing.
Yeah.
With it.
Humor in it.
Yeah, but
I'd say it started off with a lot of humor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It started off really good. It started off, I mean, best I've probably seen any Thor movie start off.
Yeah.
It's totally just action packed. The entire movie is just full of action, and like I said, it was very colorful. It was very entertaining to watch, and I mean, I think I think top 10 best Marvel movies made. I think top 10.
yeah, because it has that action and comedy aspect, and they kind of nailed it with the comedy. And it's not so much with the action, but it's still.
I would say
amazing.
they totally just changed the vibe of how all the Thor movies, because all the Thor movies are usually more serious than the
yeah.
others. This one was just really just a
Funny.
lot of
It was
one-liners
funny and
stuff.
serious.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Because the previous ones, I couldn't take Thor 2, The Dark World, that serious because
Yeah.
they tried to throw in jokes as soon as they were fighting, and it's just wasn't good.
I would say I think Loki was the funniest one in Thor 2.
Oh,
Loki was
yeah.
hilarious. And this one Loki's pretty funny. Too.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so the cast here we got Chris Hemsworth coming back as Thor, and he's like Captain America. He's like Chris Evans was Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man.
Perfect for the
Just
role.
perfect for the role.
Mhm.
Then you got Kate Blanchett who plays Hela,
Yeah.
and she's the main villain here in this movie. And yeah, I mean she did a really good job. I like the villain. I think she probably could have been in a little more than what she was in. I think she was kind of she. I know she was a main character, but I mean she seemed more like kind of like a side plot. Was Jeff Goldblum was he more of the main villain? Because I couldn't tell because they both.
He was kind of a side villain, like
It felt like the main villain was more of the side villain though.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
didn't like how much time she had because every time she was on, she was always just explaining stuff about
Yeah.
her, and it was just like okay,
Too quick.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So she did pretty good. Then Loki,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Loki
Being
favorite.
mischievous and
Mhm.
stuff.
yeah, he's just same old Loki. I mean, you can't go wrong with him. Then you got Tessa Thompson who plays Valkyrie,
Mhm.
and I mean she's a new addition to like the group, and I think I really like
Fitting
her.
well.
I thought she was good.
Mm-hmm.
She impressed me, considering I didn't really know who she was before. but-
Yeah,
I didn't know either.
knowing nothing about Thor in comics because he's not really my favorite one in the comics.
Yeah, I
We
don't care.
all
I don't care too
Yeah,
much about Thor.
he's-
But they explained her in well.
Yeah, they kind of filled us in on like what she did and what she does and all that stuff. And then Mark Ruffalo.
Oh,
came in,
yeah.
Hulk. Oh my, geez,
Yeah. So funny.
he cracks me up. I don't know. It's just because he says everything just so seriously, but even when he jokes, he says it so seriously, it just cracks me up.
He's not trying to be funny, but he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of Hulk in this.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
more Hulk than there's just Bruce Banner in this movie, which I thought was really cool. It's kind of like they kind of like mixed in like a Hulk movie type.
Yeah.
Like instead of just making a whole solo Hulk movie, they kind of just had him in it.
Well, I don't
You know
think
what I mean?
I don't think they own the rights to Hulk completely.
Oh,
That's why
yeah,
they
see,
can't.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure about that.
Yeah.
But
It's all confusing.
it's the Hulk parts. They were just kind of they were cool, but like I felt like he needed like a little bit more because he's not that big of an interesting character. Because when you see Hulk, you just want to see him smash stuff.
Mhm.
You don't
Yeah.
really want a story with him.
Mhm.
So I guess it was pretty good in Thor, where they kind of took the aspect of Planet Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
throwing him with the Grandmaster, and
Mhm.
having him fight
Yeah, that was good.
Thor. Oh, the fight scenes with Thor and
Oh,
Hulk.
That was
That
Oh
was-
my
that
god,
was
those
topped out
were
best.
great. Those
Yeah.
were great. Because they're always talking about who is the strongest Avenger. And that I mean, it's just so funny because I mean they're both
They're both really strong.
really strong.
Oh yeah, because like Hulk Infinite Rage, just kind of the more angry he gets, the more
Yeah.
power he gets. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
But and so we had like I said, Mark Ruffalo, and there's Hulk. Then we got Idris Elba, whatever how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Idris Elba. I
he's
think so.
back in it, but he's not really the.
He's in it for like maybe 5 minutes just to show.
Yeah, I honestly thought in the trailers, I thought he was gonna be more part of the storyline.
Yeah, because you saw him like once or twice in the trailer.
I thought he'd be. Yeah, I thought he would be
Bigger
more
aspect.
involved, but he was not really evolved like I thought he would be.
Yeah.
Which I like him as I mean, he's one of my favorite actors. I mean, I like it, but like I said, he just didn't get enough screen time. I feel like for what he.
Yeah, because recently Mountain Between Us, he was in it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But
yeah,
like, that's probably why he didn't get so much. But
I feel like he should have been more a big story character.
He's a big character.
I think he's gonna be a big character probably in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Or in the future movies. And got Stan Lee cameo. That was pretty funny. Don't
give it away.
Yeah, don't give it away. We don't need to talk about it yet.
I don't know if it's better than the Deadpool one because they're saying this is the best.
I don't know. This one's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But then we got Carl Urban, who plays Executioner, and I also thought he was going to be more of a bigger, role, because in the trailers I thought he'd be more of a bigger role.
I kind of felt like he was going to be a
But the issue I had with him is that he didn't have much dialogue.
Same.
He did a lot of just staring.
Yeah, he did a lot of staring.
We can't really, you can't tell, what he did because it'd be big spoilers just about him.
Yeah.
So, more about him later. It's just,
I don't know.
You can't really talk about him without giving away some of the story.
Yeah.
I just feel like he
just wasn't that big.
He didn't have
he wasn't big
he wasn't
like I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
And then we got Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
Cracking me up all the time.
You cannot go wrong with Jeff. He plays this part so perfect. He plays the Grandmaster, and he just plays it so perfect.
It seems like he's just himself.
It's literally just himself.
He's just playing himself.
It's so
being
great.
Himself.
And it's just so funny. It cracks me up when he just plays himself. And then we got Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Who plays Odin.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't
a big role.
Because I thought Odin would be a really big aspect to it, and it's just kind of...
It kind of just...
put me off with him.
Yeah.
There's just...
I kind of felt like he was going to come back as a bigger role because of the whole Loki taking over the throne thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really there, though.
Mm-mm.
But I think the biggest shock of this... Wait, what were you
I don't know if we can talk big about Odin, though, because
we got
it's
spoilers.
another big guy that... Yeah.
But I think
More
the
stuff.
biggest surprise, to me at least, is Korg.
Korg.
Oh my
Korg's
god,
great.
he cracks me up. He was actually voiced by the director, wasn't he?
Yes,
And
yeah.
it's just funny because he's such a, he's like the Thing. He's a big, just blue rock, but his voice, he doesn't talk in a low voice. He has a high voice, and he has an accent.
Yeah, because you expect him to be like a big, muscly kind of guy.
Yeah,
But
but
more like,
he was just,
hey, how's it going?
hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
No one leaves here.
I mean, he cracked me up.
Oh,
I mean, he was the biggest surprise. I've never heard of that character.
Yeah.
Like, he's in Planet Hulk. And I feel like in Planet Hulk, the animated show, or I think it's a movie, yeah, where he got a bunch of screen time with the Hulk. But in the movie, he wasn't that big. But every time he was on, it was always the best part with him. And
yeah, like I said, he was by far the biggest surprise to me. I didn't even know he was going to be in the movie.
Yeah, me either.
There's
about
nothing suggesting that he would be in the movie, and I'm happy he was in the movie. He completely, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed him.
Every time he was on screen, he stole it.
And then a couple more cameos. We can't really talk about them, but let's just say that the oldest Hemsworth brother. He's in it.
that was funny.
And then also Matt Damon's in it.
Oh,
that was funny.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna spoil what they do. But so I think that's it for that part. So let's talk about what we rate it.
I'd say, I don't know, like an 8.7 with me, because it's that high. But I gave Guardians of the Galaxy 2 the best one, like about 9 with me, because it was just so great.
Yeah.
Well, above 9, but yeah.
What do you give it?
Probably an 8 out of 10. I mean, I want to give it the full 9.
Yeah.
But it was really good though. Also.
Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10 too. I don't know. I just didn't think that the villains were really.
Yeah, they weren't. Really
they should have focused more on one villain. I think they kind of took like more of a They made Spider-Man 2 type route when they had more They had 2 villains, and it was kind of just confusing who was the actual main villain.
I wouldn't say they want to go as far as Amazing Spider-Man 2, but they still.
Yeah, because I felt like they had the main objective was just to save whatever and overcome Grandmaster just to go save it, but like they had to get through one just to get to there.
It wasn't really like a main villain that was trying to just destroy everything or take over Earth or anything. It was kind of just a character that was there, and they had to stop, but it wasn't there enough.
Yeah, the goddess of death just had to stop her. That's kind of
it. It wasn't there enough.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the issues I had, and plus I wish they had like I said, I wish Executioner was a little more of a little bit more into the movie
Yeah,
than what
like-
he really was. Like I said, he didn't say too much.
He always showed like the same kind of emotion
Yeah.
with him.
Mhm.
It's just
And then Valkyrie, I wish I mean they explained her pretty good, but I wish we had more about it because there's tension. There was tension between her and Thor, and then it kind of just like they don't really tell them how they resolve that tension. I don't think
Mm.
Exactly.
exactly.
It's just
Mutual
kinda-
friendship.
It was just kind of like let's help each other. Just
Yeah. I'm getting off this place.
because she
Yeah.
yeah I mean
Yeah.
I don't know,
Whatever.
but
If you
that's what
want
I give it. I give it an 8 out of 10. So I mean, definitely a movie you should go see.
But with Valkyrie, I bet like you saw that like in the trailers they showed that beautiful scene where it was all of them riding on horses
Mhm.
coming to attack
That
Hela.
was
Mhm.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was,
nice.
but like I felt like they needed more. They showed that like maybe like a couple of seconds of that, and they didn't have really a big fight scene.
I think
was
it kind of fell into
done.
the. I think it kind of fell into the show too much in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they showed all the major action
Kinda like
scenes.
Deadpool.
Yeah, kind of
I
like.
felt more like Spider-Man, where they showed like you can sequence each kind
Yeah.
of thing,
Oh,
and you
yeah,
can tell
yeah.
what's gonna happen. It's
Mhm.
just kind of like that.
But yeah, the whole Hulk and Thor scene was. That's what I was looking forward to the most, and oh my god, that blew me away.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
But yeah, I think is that it for the
Non-spoilers, yeah,
All right, so I think that's it for the non-spoilers. So
definitely a movie you guys.
yeah,
see.
definitely you guys
Definitely.
got to see that movie. But if you want to stay for the spoilers, then we'll tell you about that in like. Okay, so spoiler
Spoilers.
section. All right, so cameo by Matt Damon, Matt Damon, and Chris
Liam?
Hemsworth.
Liam
the
Hemsworth,
Hem,
right?
Liam?
yeah, the
No,
Hems-
Liam's the
Liam's
younger
young.
one.
the oldest
older-
Hemsworth
oldest Hemsworth.
brother. I forgot his name.
I don't know his name.
But they both. So what they do is, Thor comes back from who's he fighting?
Getting captured by I think it's Sadus, the big fire demon who has to fulfill the prophecy of destroying Asgard.
And so so at the the beginning of the trailer when he's caught in the chain,
Yeah.
that's where he's
That's
at.
where he's at.
Yeah.
So after he gets done fighting that villain, he comes back onto Asgard. And so when he's walking up, he sees Odin sitting there eating food and watching a play. And like I said, the oldest Hemsworth brother is actually playing Thor,
That was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
which cracks me up.
With Matt Damon playing
And then
Loki.
Matt Damon playing
It
Loki.
was, yeah.
I mean,
And they were playing the part on the Dark World
Dark
where
World.
Loki dies.
where Loki, yeah,
And just Odin sitting there eating grapes.
Yeah.
But
drinking
Odin
wine.
is actually Loki.
It is.
Odin's Loki.
Which everyone knows.
And so then later on, we find out that they start looking for Odin, and we find out that Odin's on Earth because Loki put him in a retirement home.
Yeah, but the
Oh,
retirement
that was
home's getting
the
torn
best.
The
down.
retirement home's getting torn down, and there's a pretty funny scene about that. And then next thing you know, Loki just drops to the ground, and he's just teleported into like a library, and that's where.
No, I think he's falling for it.
Oh no! Yeah, he's
Infinity.
falling.
He's falling.
Because
Thor
of-
And
is
then Thor's
teleported.
teleported to life, and
Yeah.
that's where Doctor Strange comes into play.
Mhm.
Doctor Strange, he comes into the movie for a little bit. Not really. It wasn't nothing big.
Yeah, it was about as much as in the trailer.
He
There
was
was
just kind of just like
this little
talking to
section of
Thor,
it.
explaining where Odin
Yeah,
was.
he just tells us where Odin was, and then
Did you guys see
Telling
the
them-
gloves he had on?
yeah, I saw
Like
that.
I thought I didn't like he had yellow gloves.
Oh,
They were, like,
yeah.
working gloves.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are for, but like
just for
They're
look,
part
I
of his
guess.
costume.
I don't know. Like he didn't have those in the actual Doctor Strange though. So
Yeah,
it's-
he must have got those after.
must have been like it'll probably explain that
Like
later.
but yeah, so they do that. He helps them find where Odin is, and then they teleport to Norway,
Where Odin
Oh,
is.
where
yeah.
Odin is, and it's kind of just like just a little scene. They just talk to Odin for a little bit, and then Odin.
It didn't feel that impactful.
It wasn't
when they were
impactful.
talking to each
It's
other.
like
I
a
think
trace.
They kind of just left him out. Like, it's
Yeah.
like
It was like an awkward like family reunion where it was like an awkward person It's
and
like
then Odin
then he just leaves.
just
then
just
Odin
dies.
just
He
dies
He
and goes away.
Nothing big. No one's like crying or anything.
And it's just like, my dad died.
But so yeah, that ends up happening. What else? What else ended up happening?
Well, they
happening?
did.
Oh.
Odin did explain that who Hela was.
Oh well, yeah, she comes in through like the
Oh.
big, like it's like a black hole almost, where she
Yeah.
just walks down through and she shows herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the scene after that where Thor and Loki are sitting there and they just boom with the umbrella and transform into their costumes,
That was
and,
cool. That was
and the
awesome.
umbrella becomes
Yeah.
the hammer. Oh, dude, that was. I
Kind of
love
reminded me
that
of
scene.
Power Rangers. I don't know why. I'm just like,
Maybe.
Whatever did happen to Thor's hammer? He never got his
yeah.
hammer back.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I totally
Guy
forgot
just,
about that. Yeah.
just blew up.
Once it broke.
Well, his hammer's in Norway.
I'll tell you what though, it was a badass scene when he.
Oh yeah. I looked up this. They were talking about what if Thor's hammer actually broke and it actually caused the Earth, and they said it would be like every second would be a nuclear blast
Mhm.
because it was a dwarf star, dying star, or whatever.
Yeah.
That gets shoved into the hammer, and whenever like the atoms are like splitting, it just caused so much explosions that it
Yeah.
would leave the planet just blown up. So,
I'll say, but like,
You can't
but
do
after
that.
that, yeah, after that, it can't kill everybody.
but it was really cool what
Shatters.
they do because since that hammer's gone, he has nothing else to really use as his own weapon. So he actually ends up like embracing, being the power of
Yeah, the
being
thunder.
yeah,
God of
God of
Thunder.
God of
Thunder.
Thunder.
But I didn't understand where Hela grabs it and then like she's holding it because I don't understand because she's not
See, no,
worthy
Yeah, she,
like him.
Well, I know she wasn't worthy, but in the murals you can see that she's. holding
Remember,
the
she's her
hammer.
sister.
She
She
was
wasn't
the
supposed
original
to be-
worthy one.
Yeah, no, but Loki can't do that either.
Oh yeah, they did say that she was the original one. Yeah,
Yeah, she was the original one that was worthy of the hammer until she got banished.
because that made me think about the way Captain America almost picked up Thor's hammer because he was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he became like the chosen one or whatever.
because
so.
he almost lifted it in I think Age of Ultron.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was an awesome scene.
But I thought it was just so cool how he actually embraces being the god of thunder.
Oh, his
And
powers.
He gets the lightning and everything, and it's just
So
But I
much
do need
cooler.
this explained to me. What is Odin? Is he like a god? Because he's always giving birth to these gods and goddesses.
Yeah, I would say he's more of like just the king of the 9 realms that they have.
Yeah.
Because he
And-
gave birth to the goddess of death and the god of thunder. So.
Yeah, so they tell about how like he pillaged those 9 realms and made them
Yeah.
under his control
Yeah.
and took all that gold and made their Asgard and
So he's kind of like a god himself, just a god of all the realms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like there wasn't too much. There wasn't too many spoilers really into it. Like
yeah, but you got to think about what's his name, the Executioner, where because he comes in and it kind of seemed like he was one-sided the entire time. Like he
Mhm.
always had to be on the winning side.
Yeah.
they never
Little snake.
really gave him a reason on why he chose her. Like usually it'd be like maybe, yeah, I'm tired of these people or something. He just kind of just
His reason was, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I'm just a janitor.
yeah
Don't
he's
kill me.
Yeah, he's like I'm just a janitor, and so he just like starts following her with like no explanation. He just
Okay.
goes on with her, but
She kind of just trusts him too easily, too.
That
Yeah.
she killed the actor who's playing Shazam now.
hmm Yeah.
The blonde dude.
Yeah.
And he's just
but
That kind of sucked, though. All Thor's friends just died right there.
just boop.
All dead.
And her
I was just
conjuring
wa-
like blades through her wrist and like
Yeah, just killed him.
killed
see, like,
everybody.
all gone.
yeah, I don't know why they always had like Thor's friends and stuff in all these movies.
And they just
In
died.
the first one,
like
the
that.
second one, they were kind of they helped out.
Yeah, the
They were kind of-
first and then the second
yeah,
one.
they
and
they
then
kind of helped out. They're kind of major, but in this is just kind of like
They're
barely said
there,
anything.
and
and
this
they
Thor
showed
didn't
up.
even
and they-
care.
yeah, they never even brought that back up. Like he
They-
didn't even care that his best friend
Oh,
died.
yeah.
They just died
Where-
with me.
Did the chick die too?
Uh,
I forgot her name.
Oh,
but
Sif?
is that her name? Did she die?
No, she wasn't there.
I don't. Yeah, but it says she's in the cast.
She's in
so
a
right
movie?
here- Yeah, so
Huh.
right here she's in it, but
I didn't see her in it.
I didn't see her
I
either.
didn't see her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we just missed it. But like I don't
I'll have to
remember.
look that up.
She might have had like a small thing or something.
I really don't miss.
Mhm.
Probably.
But and then the end credit scenes, it was like they were Thor.
You
And
jumping
Loki.
too far.
Yeah, that's
Like-
true. You are jumping way too
Yeah,
far.
here's
We're,
the
we're in
time.
like the.
Oh, okay.
Where she
well,
just
yeah,
gets into
okay.
Asgard.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so he comes to Asgard. She is already like
Because
she's already demolished it.
because they were teleporting to Asgard and she went through the same like teleporter as they did and she kicked him out and it seemed like glass or something like when they
Yeah.
broke
Yeah.
Like she
and
got
they just both kind of ended up in
kicked
the
them out of the
same
portal.
planet. I can't remember what the planet was. But
It's like it starts with S or something like that. Yeah, I know.
it's
yeah,
owned
know
by
it,
the
yeah.
Grandmaster. Grandmaster is like the big guy.
The
of
Contest
the
of
planet.
Champions. He owns that.
But
He's where the known is and where the
Mhm.
unknown is, so you cannot touch him for some reason. That's
but,
what they said.
yeah, it was-
But-
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I thought that entire. I like how they. I don't know.
Time
Have
doesn't
you ever
go
noticed,
as
like,
fast
how-
there.
I like the costumes they have in all these movies. The
Yeah.
costumes are like so just realistic on what
Yeah.
people would actually wear. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And I mean,
They're kinda out
it is
there.
completely
Yeah.
different from in Asgard to when they go to the Grandmaster's world.
Yeah, because,
totally different.
what is
It's
it?
a lot more colorful. There's a lot
Yeah.
more stuff that people are wearing. It was really
because it wasn't the planet was like just a junk place where there was just a bunch of black holes, just
And they're just dumping
little
trash.
portals, just dumping trash everywhere. And it was just like a bunch of colors and everything. They had like savages take Thor into.
You want to eat them.
Yeah, they were like, "Are you food
Yeah.
or are you a fighter?"
Yeah.
And it's just like.
And he starts just freaking punching everyone all over the place. It was really,
Like,
it was
it's
really
food.
funny.
But then gets electrocuted or like nanoed by that
Yeah.
little net. I didn't
Yeah.
understand. Like, I was like,
And then
Okay.
and then later on, when he's in the chair, he's getting dragged around. That's when we get Stanley's cameo.
Oh yeah, Stanley's
He's
cameo.
giving the
Yeah.
haircut.
He's giving him a haircut.
to
Cutting off his blonde
Thor.
hair.
And he's like, and so Thor at
"Be
first is like,
steady."
yeah,
I
Thor,
got some shaky hands.
Thor at
He's
first,
got,
what
like,
does Thor say?
bleeds.
He's like, he's acting on himself. He's like, no, don't. He's like, you can't cut my hair. He's like,
I am the god
God
of thunder.
thunder.
You
You
will
will
not
feel
touch
my
my
wrath.
yeah, you will feel my wrath. And then
Just
And then
blades.
out of nowhere, Stanley's like, just hold still. He's
I
like,
got steady- I don't
yeah,
got
he's like,
steady
I'm getting-
hands.
Yeah, he's like, I don't have steady hands anymore. And his arms explodes with all these like
Some
razors and
Don't touch. Don't cut
it
my
was
hair.
crazy. And he,
Please, please don't
yeah,
cut
and then
my
the
hair.
funniest part was Thor was just like, he gets really high pitched. He's like, please don't cut my hair. And then, then he
And he gets
shows
his
off his new
haircut.
hair. Yeah, it shows off his new haircut. And so when they're waiting to get into the battle of champions, that's when we meet Corey.
Oh
Corp.
yeah.
It's so funny. He was so funny.
And they're trapped in like a circular room, but it's not circular.
Yeah.
It's like you.
It just
it's
goes
going a
around.
circle.
It's a
weird.
circle, but not a circle.
It's weird.
It's well, it's,
Mind
yeah,
blower.
it's a Marvel movie.
That's
yeah,
true,
yeah. I don't need to explain that. But
I mean,
so then like after Thor and Hulk fight, we don't get a clear winner
It's
because
kind of a
they
cheat.
cheated.
The
Hulk
Grandmaster
technically
zaps
wins, but
Thor with his
yeah,
whole
the Grandmaster
gang.
zaps Thor, so Thor can't do anything. So the Hulks just start stomping him out. I think the funniest part, the funniest part of the entire movie, I think, was the part when remember in the Avengers when Loki gets slammed by the
Oh
Hulk?
yeah, he's getting
Yeah.
The
slammed
exact. So what
That's
happens is Loki's with the Grandmaster. Loki and Grandmaster are
around. Like,
friends,
best friends.
and so when the Grandmaster introduces Hulk to being the big champion that
He's
Thor
like,
has to beat, it's
"Oh,
so
crap."
funny because Loki's standing there
Shrinking
wide eyed
down.
and he starts backing up, and he's just remembering how Hulk just crushed
Destroyed
him.
him.
And so then when he's getting ready to leave, Grandmaster's like, no, you have to stay. And so he just sits there and stays, and he sees Hulk and Thor are fighting, and then he's standing there still wide-eyed because he's all scared of the Hulk. And then there's a scene when,
The Hulk grabs
The-
Thor and starts
well,
slamming
because Thor
around.
slams
Oh.
Hulk to the wall.
Yeah, Thor's winning, and
And
then he
then,
does
and then they have like an
the
emotional move.
the Black
moment.
Widow thing where
Yeah,
he's like,
when he
"Sun's
starts,
getting
like,
real low,
grabbing-
big guy."
Thor starts like grabbing
out
his
his
hands,
hands.
trying to calm down the Hulk, so he turns into Bruce Banner. So it's like all nice and stuff. And then next thing you know, he just grabs Thor, so boom, 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 and he just kind of stops, like stares at him. He can't go boom, 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 and just throws him down. And then Loki stands up and he goes, "That's how it feels!" And it's so funny. It cracked me up. I thought that was the funniest part in the entire movie because it just kind of just brought
Draws
back
back to
the
it.
Avengers, and I thought it was funny.
I did like the part where he's like, we know each other. We're a friend.
We're friends.
Yeah, he's a friend
And-
from work.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but that was from a Make-A-Wish thing to get that line in there.
Oh, really?
It was,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's great, and it was so funny because I've seen so much like art done by
Mhm.
people on Instagram about like them two. It was so great.
But yeah, no, it's like it was just so funny how that part happened, and then let's see what else happened.
That's when Thor kind of discovers his thunder powers.
Thor gets a little bit of his thunder powers right there, and that's when
I didn't really feel like he just like because when he
Yeah.
thought of his powers, like he thought of his dad,
Yeah, he thought of
and
Odin.
he was like so emotional, and then just rage
Just
and
hit
just
him with
lightning
lightning.
everywhere. But like, I didn't feel really that connection between Thor and his dad in this movie because he was like such a small thing in the beginning.
Well, then I was also curious on how he got like where he would get his shield and stuff. Because remember in the trailer it showed him with like the shield when he was batting Hulk. He has a shield and that little like hammer thing.
hammer.
Yeah,
And
I
the
think
shield looks like Captain America. Because it kind of looked like
It was a
paint-
dome
Okay, well it was
arc.
painted and
Okay.
like it just kind of reminded me of Captain America.
Okay.
How he had a shield and stuff.
Well, he had that when coming out, and then he just got destroyed really quickly.
Well,
by
because when he was picking through his weapons, that wasn't any of his weapon. He didn't pick that
He
up.
just
as
got
a weapon
given
of choice.
to him.
It just
That
got
was-
given to him.
That was great with Korg. That scene where he's like, when I took my hammer and I spun it really fast and I flew
Oh
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you rode the hammer.
He's making fun of him.
No.
With his hammer.
So the hammer rode you? No.
It's just so funny because
I
he
just
has
spun it really
he
fast.
just has a high pitched voice. And he's just like, and he has that,
With the
that
accent,
accent.
it just
Right.
makes
It's
it
so
more
funny.
So it spun you? And he's like, no, I flew. It flew. And
It
it's
sounds like you had a really intimate relationship
yeah,
with your
the
hammer.
hammer. It
Like,
is-
like if you lose it, you'd be very sad.
Very compassionate.
Very compassionate.
so then after all this happens, that's when like we kind of get a little bit more to Valkyrie, and then
We
She's
get
the
to
one
know
who-
more of her
we
backstory.
yeah, and so then we find out she was part of
An elite force.
an
The
elite
Valkyrie,
force to help Asgard.
To help defeat
and tried
Hela.
to stop her, but like
Yeah.
blades coming out of her wrist just
Killed
flinging
everyone.
everybody. I don't
And
even
so-
understand.
Then it's just kind of like things kind of just went on, and then they finally escaped. They escaped, which
That was
escape could have been better, but like,
Yeah.
It was
I
just
thought it
like,
was funny.
just escaped.
yeah.
I mean, even the escape was funny.
because between Thor and Hulk
Oh,
in
yeah.
that little room with them.
Thor-
yeah,
Hulk just
because
talking.
Hulk's sitting there like bouncing a big like it's like
Red
it was like
bouncy
a
ball?
red ball, but it wasn't. I don't think it was like a bouncy ball.
I think it was metal.
I think it was
It's like a
metal.
metal.
He was bouncing
Throwing
like a big
it off
like
of a wall.
metal bouncy ball, and then he throws it to Thor, and Thor's talking to Valkyrie, and then he's like something about I'm getting out. What does he say? So this is what heroes do.
This is what
Because that's what
heroes do.
yeah,
heroes
he
do.
throws it, and then it hits
Comes
the
off
wall,
the wall
comes back and
and
just
hits
hits
him in
him,
the head.
and then he just gets back up, and he's like, "That's what heroes do," and then he just jumps out the window, and then so he gets into the
Quinjet. That
yeah,
That they
Hulk
try to
flew
do.
down.
yeah, and
Hulk
so
But then Hulk destroys that Quinjet.
I thought Hulk would have more of like a vocabulary because they said since he's been the Hulk for 2 years,
years,
on
yeah.
this planet, he would have like a 2-year-old's kind of
mindset,
capacity of a Hulk.
yeah.
Yeah, but at least he's not just smashing the crap out of everything.
But
At least
like
he
in-
can talk and make jokes. And
But in
stuff.
Adventures, like when he did do that to Loki, spun him around and flung him,
Puny
he was
God.
like puny god, and then like it sounded like an actual person was talking. But
Mhm.
like now it's more like
He's childish.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they finally like
jump
they finally
down.
turn him into Bruce Banner by playing at the end of Age of Ultron when
Widow's
Black Widow
message.
is talking to him and stuff, and so he sees Black Widow because they're like that's like their love. That's a love interest for the whole
Yeah.
Black Widow.
What makes
So then he
human.
gets really sad. So then he turns
Back
back
into
into
Bruce.
Bruce Banner.
And Bruce Banner has no idea where
And Bruce
he's
Banner
been.
he didn't know he's been gone for 2
He's
years.
like, did we
he
defeat
has
Ultron?
no idea.
What happened in Sokovia?
Yeah, he has absolutely no idea what's
Yeah.
happening. So he's all confused on what's happening. So Thor kind of speeds him up on what's happening, and then Valkyrie ends up joining, and then they go back. They finally go back to
The Grand.
I kind of
Master.
felt
Asgard.
I kind of felt
Asgard.
Valkyrie and Hulk kind of had like Bruce Banner kind of had like a thing.
thing with
Like, I would
like
have
best
liked that.
friends.
I would have liked that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like Hulk and her were like best friends, and they're like, oh, you
Yeah,
seem
they
familiar.
kept you remind me
kinda
of
teasing
someone,
it.
and then so then they go back to Asgard, and then when they're riding in, it's kind of a
They have to go through this big. They call it the Devil's Anus.
Example scene.
yeah.
They have to
Devil's
fly
Anus.
through the Devil's
You
You have
Anus.
to go through the Devil's Anus. And so,
Jack was
never
dying
thought I
next
was-
to me.
I didn't think I was gonna wake up one day and be like, "Yep, they went through the Devil's Anus." But,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, I just thought that was funny. And so they go through the Devil's Anus. That's something I didn't expect to say this morning.
Yeah.
And so when they go through there, they finally
I don't understand how Doctor Strange seemed like, oh, go through the big red one, and then they go through it, and they're just at Asgard. I'm like, how? What?
Yeah.
How did you know this?
How do you know?
There was
Have you
no
done that before?
information. Like, have you been to this place?
But so when they
So-
finally get to Asgard, Bruce Banner is kind of like, "Wow, this place is kind of trashy."
Yeah.
Because since
Everything's on
No
fire.
offense, but everything's on fire.
yeah, he's like,
Is
yeah,
this place- isn't this
because
place supposed
Hela
to be cool?
is completely just demolished the entire place. So it's all smoking and
Everyone's dead.
everyone's dead. It's all in flames and stuff. And so like,
Then you get Idris Elba's
Yeah.
character coming in and saving like
Heimdall.
the people
Heimdall? Yeah.
in Asgard, moving them to like this,
Yeah.
like in the
It's kind of
mountain,
like this
It was-
mountain
yeah.
type keep away
big
place.
doors kind of thing,
Mhm.
and that's probably the only part he's in.
yeah,
Really.
he's
he just saves people.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
just
after that,
saves
he kinda
people.
just
He's kind of
gets
just like
out.
Robin Hood.
yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Then he's just kind of out of it. And so then the big major fight scene happens.
With Athena and not Athena,
Hela.
Hela.
Hela and Thor, the big
Hela
fight
and
scene
Thor.
happens.
Yeah,
And then, and Heimdall's kind of like, I kind of thought about it because they were all boarding that ship. He was kind of like it's kind of like Noah's Ark type thing. You know, when he gets all the, he's kind of like the savior. You know what I mean? He was the savior of everyone.
Kind of saving everyone, put them on the ship.
And so they're all on the bridge. They're all on that, oh God, I can't think of the name of the bridge now.
It's like a rainbow bridge.
Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
Yep, Mario Kart Rainbow Road.
Yeah, Mario Kart Rainbow. I forgot. Dang, I forgot.
That's what it reminds me every time.
Yeah,
I
but so there's a big, huge fight on that, and so while it's like
the funny part with Hulk coming in,
Mhm.
he was like
Oh my
talking
God.
to Valkyrie.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, because there's
It's
that
time to release it.
that big fight going on, and then
It's like,
that's when Bruce Banner he's getting ready to jump out of the jet, like help, turn into the Hulk. He kind of walks over and then he looks at Valkyrie and he's like, this is why you know me. And if you ever seen the Incredible Hulk,
That's what I was
it
thinking.
instantly reminded me of the time when Bruce Banner kissed
Edward Norton.
Yeah, Edward
falls
Norton
out of the
the helicopter, and
doesn't turn into
he doesn't
the
turn
Hulk.
into the Hulk. He just slams into the ground and then he turns into the Hulk.
That's what happened.
But this is what happens: is Bruce Banner jumps out of the plane and it just cuts to them all like fighting, and the big dog that's Helena's or Hela's starts coming at them, and then out of nowhere, Bruce just like a rag
just hits
he
the
just
ground.
hits the ground. He's out,
Yeah.
and the dog starts just running off the side. It starts running after everyone, and then he turns into the Hulk, and he
Just stops.
just
and grabs
as soon
his
as
tail.
he's about to eat everyone, he grabs a tail, and there's a big
Throws it.
fight
But
scene.
I thought that would be a bigger fight
Yeah, it
scene.
wasn't
with
a
the
big
It
dog
wasn't
and
a big
Hulk.
fight scene.
kinda
Yeah, it
just
wasn't
cut.
big. It wasn't as big as I thought it was.
Because
wasn't a
the
fight
trailer
scene.
showed it off, and I was like, "Oh man, Hulk's gonna, actually smash this dog and do some work."
What
And it's
happened was they kind of just fell off the bridge, and just nothing else happened
like,
until
water took them,
after, and then the Hulk just threw him
Yeah.
off the waterfall. That's it.
and
And yeah, so like that's what happened there, and then next thing you know is you think Hela's dead, but they all think she's
I
dead,
think she's there. Yeah.
and then they all go back onto the bridge and they're helping out Heimdall,
Mhm.
and then she comes back again, and then so it's Valkyrie, Thor,
Loki.
and
Loki.
Loki.
yeah,
They're all
'cause
fighting
Hulk's doing the dog
the
right
dog
now,
still,
and they're
and
just
they're
like,
all fighting Hela, and then they find out that they're like, we can't do this.
There's no way to beat her.
There's no way to beat her. And so then Loki goes down to the very bottom of
Odin's vault.
Where he keeps all the things.
where the Tesseract
the
Tesseract.
Tesseract is.
is
Fake
the
Tesseract.
fake gauntlet. There's a
Yeah,
fake gauntlet. He's like,
yeah.
it's like fake, and there's a
Fake.
fake gauntlet and everything. So
Hey, that's maybe. And then she
so that's when, which I thought I totally forgot, but it kind of foreshadowed how important what's his name's
the sadist.
the saves
Yeah.
how his role is gonna be.
Did you guys notice how it was like they made it seem like it was Sadist's head, Infinity Gauntlet, and then the Eternal Flame?
Mhm.
It kind of seemed like that. Like, why would you put something that can summon something that can destroy Asgard so close to the
Yeah,
Eternal
yeah.
Flame?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
And so,
more
like-
things in between
yeah,
it.
like
so-
at least lock it up away.
But Loki's walking by and he sees a Tesseract,
He's like, oh.
and he kind of just stares at it for a little bit.
Maybe.
And it just cuts out from there, and then it shows him fighting, and then it comes back to him putting the head
in
The
the
crown.
Eternal
the crown,
of,
yeah, into
Sadist
the
onto the
eternal
fire.
fire.
to make Sadist
To make
reborn to
yeah.
destroy Asgard.
And so he grows out and starts destroying Asgard, and that's when
Hulk has the funniest thing when he's coming at Sadist,
oh
or
yeah.
he just leaps at him.
He
and
just
it's
leaps
like,
jumps
and
and starts beating the
yeah,
crap
and Thor's
out
like
of him.
Thor's like
backs him.
no, stop
Once
it,
your
Hulk.
life, don't
Yeah,
smack.
Don't
yeah,
be
he's
an
like, don't,
idiot.
yeah. And so
What
then
big monster?
yeah, they're like no, go, yeah,
No,
go,
just go
Hulk.
away.
So they all get on the ship, and then they all leave Asgard, and they're all watching. They're all watching it get
Sadist
destroyed. but
destroy-
yeah.
Destroy
'Cause
Hela.
that's the only way to destroy Hela.
And
And
so,
that's where her power comes
Yeah,
from.
so
is
it
from
just puts the
Asgard.
sword basically right on top of her and just kills her.
Yep,
Just takes
just
out.
I hope
kills
I hope
Hela,
she's dead.
I hope she's dead.
kills
Because-
Hela, destroys Asgard, and then Sadist just disappears because he fulfilled his prophecy.
Because I think he goes back down to I think like the underworld or wherever he is,
Yeah.
and he actually is full
He's like
strength
at peace
or
sort of.
something. Yeah, because I think he's at max strength and he's just kind of shrinks himself down, kind of
Yeah,
down at where he lives. So it kind of ends with him destroying Asgard.
and Asgard
and
just
saying,
blows up, and they're all just going through space.
And
Yeah.
so then like after all that happens, they kind of just reintroduce him into they give him his own seat, so he's like the king again.
He's back to being king.
Yeah, Thor's the king now.
We left out
The eye.
Oh yeah, he got his eye
his eye cut out.
So he's wearing Odin's
So he
patch.
starts wearing Odin's patch, one of Odin's patch. So he looks like him, and that's just how like the movie ends basically.
Yeah.
Because they're flying off, and then they, you just assume they're gonna regroup, and
It's like, what are we doing now?
And then
something. Thor will return in Infinity War.
And so then,
Which I thought was
So-
interesting because you got to think about Hulk. They never
They
said
didn't say
Thor
Hulk.
and Hulk will be in Infinity
Oh
War.
crap! You just blew my mind.
Hulk will be in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so because
Like,
you've
But
seen.
did he ever turn back into Bruce Banner?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
not on the
no.
ship. Not on
Oh,
the
it
ship.
was?
Because
So-
way back he said, if I turn into Hulk again, I may never come back as Bruce Banner. So I'm wondering about that.
and plus, you've
Oh yeah,
seen.
'cause he's saying he's like in the backseat of a car. Like
he's in the trunk, and Hulk's
as
just
Hulk's the
driving.
driver.
And that makes me think because you've seen Infinity War, like I don't know what you call them, like on set and them taking pictures, and you see Mark Ruffalo flipping off somebody taking pictures of them
Yeah.
on set, and I think was he wearing normal clothes? I don't know if
Yeah,
you
he
guys saw
was.
it.
Yeah,
He
he
was. So he might go back to Bruce Banner in Infinity War. So
I don't know.
I think so.
And so and so then that happens. The entire movie ends. And the end credit roll scene is Thor's talking to Heimdall. Is he talking to Heimdall?
He's talking to someone.
He's talking to someone, and so they're like, kind of flying off, and then a big ship just raises right in front of
raised
them.
up in front
And
of
so
him.
then
Thanos'
Thor,
Yeah.
Thor and both they're just like
Oh,
they're just staring because this ship is just totally so much bigger than the ship that Thor and them are
Guessing
on.
that's Thanos' ship about
Yeah.
to take him.
And so we think it's Thanos' ship. So then
Oh, he might be coming for the Tesseract. Now
Yeah.
that I think about
Oh,
that, because
'cause Loki
might
might have
have
Loki probably
stole it.
talked-
that
yeah.
makes
Loki probably took
gosh.
it. Oh, he might have been talking to Loki, not Heimdall. I think he's talking to
Might have been talking to Loki, yeah.
Yeah, because
But,
yeah, that's what
yeah.
happened. Because he was like,
Yeah.
if you were actually here, and then he threw the cup. And
Yeah,
caught it,
that's
caught
not-
the cup.
Yeah,
off you.
that's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was great.
And then there's another after credit scene, which I think was kind of a waste of time. We should-
Yeah, we
it was
wasted a long
it was just
time.
Jeff-
and
it's
They just
Jeff
won't give
Goldblum.
any hints to Infinity War.
No,
yeah,
no.
it was just,
They just
the
won't.
very last end credit scene is Jeff Goldblum like rolling out of the
the like
Shipper.
bunker.
like
he's
a
in,
bunker or something
and
he's
he's
in.
got like 2 girls with him.
Yeah, and then he's just like clapping. It's Jeff Goldblum.
Good
Jeff
job.
Goldblum.
Yeah.
If you didn't
Good job
have
on the
some-
revolution.
It's a tie.
Yeah.
You had
If
to
it
overthrow
wasn't for
someone.
me, then you guys could have revolted.
But-
You had to overthrow someone.
That's just how it ends. And
Yep.
It just-
nothing really special.
Yep.
I just wish they would have done more with
Infinity
Infinity
War.
War because I can't
I
wait for that
want
trailer
to
drops.
know.
Yes, everyone wants to know. And oh man, that makes us think about like all the Infinity Stones that they have out right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have, I think
So-
we have all of them. Because
No, not the Soul Stone. Well, maybe the Soul Stone.
yeah, because we don't know for like
Heimdall probably has it.
That's
I'm pretty
that's
sure
what we're thinking.
Heimdall
It's
or
in his
Vision.
sword.
Yeah.
Or Vision. someone has it.
No, Vision
No,
has
Vision has
the...
the-
Oh yeah,
the
Vision
Mind
has
Stone.
The scepter.
Mind Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it has to be him.
because the
It's
orbs,
the same color.
the orbs, the purple one, where I think that's the power gem is with Guardians of the
Nova
Galaxy.
Corps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the time one is with Doctor
Doctor
Strange. I think the ether. I think he has the ether, doesn't he? Because of the
Wasn't it
elves.
on Asgard, though, or was it with the Collector?
I think it's with the Collector.
It was with the Collector.
because it was like Elf. They had it in Dark World of Thor.
But then the Collector's space got blown up in Guardians of the Galaxy, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know what
The
happened with
Collector?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
he
he
gets
has-
blown up.
Okay.
So we don't know about that one.
But we
for
know
sure.
we're not for sure about the Soul Gem. That might have been in the
I think it's Heimdall's.
Heimdall's
But-
sword.
We'll just figure that out in the next movie.
Yeah, next movie.
We have
Yeah,
to figure it out.
Black,
We'll
Black
figure it out
Panther.
eventually.
That comes out first, and I think Deadpool 2 comes out June.
Yeah. Some.
Oh no, because
And
Infinity
there's
War.
been,
Infinity War comes out
Okay.
May.
and there's been
Yeah.
spectacles about Deadpool 2 being part of the Avengers and all that.
Really,
I've heard something
Yeah.
about that.
really.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Huh?
But
There's
so
been
like,
hints to it.
so we'll just figure
That'll
out
be fun.
all this about. We'll figure out all this.
The
later
next
on.
review with
Yeah.
Black Panther.
It'll be.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm-
figure it all out.
I'm
We'll figure
figuring
out who
it
has it.
eventually.
Okay. But I think that's it for the review.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would give
that's
this movie
8 out of 10.
Like I said, 8
8 out
out
of 10, 9 out of 10. It's up there. It's,
It's
up
up there.
It's
It's a
great.
good
movie.
It's
Really
great.
Good movie. So
Recommend
haven't
to
seen
watch.
it, go see it. And I think that's it for
That's
us.
all, yeah.
And so we're out and peace.